Hello everyone, my name is Commander Tofu, and we're back with another giant tier list. Today we're going to be going over all of the mono red commanders. Now keep in mind, I have not read most of these before, so a lot of these are going to be my first impressions. And remember that this tier list is not based off of power. It's based off of how cool the commander is and how much I want to build the deck. Now power level does have something to do with it, because if a commander is super bad, then you obviously don't want to build it. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of factors like how cool it is, how unique it is, whether or not it's just a worse version of another commander, and just my personal preference. Alright, so without further ado, let's get this started. Our first commander here is Adamaro, First to Desire. He is very creepy looking, got some body horror stuff going on. He's 3 mana for a star. His power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in the hand of the opponent with the most cards in hand. Alright, this seems really bad, but it could be really big, and you can build around it, because you can make other people draw cards with Howling Mine and all the other versions of Howling Mine. So I'll put him at a B. For 3 mana, he could be pretty big, and he actually seems alright. Next up, a Chroma Angel of Fury. This card has a lot of text. You can morph it. I think you can morph from the command zone. I'm like 99% sure you can do that. It can't be countered. It has flying, trample, protection from white and blue, and fire breathing. And you have to morph it for 6. And it costs 8. Oh, 8's a lot. I don't think this commander is very good. First of all, it's a red morph. And I don't think red has hardly any ways to flip morphs without just paying the cost. There is that one artifact staff thingy. Other than that, I can't think of anything. And I guess like Conjurer's Closet, but if you're paying 5 for a Conjurer's Closet, then that's not even useful. I think this is actually worse than the first one. I can't believe I'm saying this. This is going C. It's really bad. It's not terrible, and it does have words on it, but it's really bad. Alright, Elena, Kessick Trapper. 5 mana for a 4/3 with first strike. You can tap to add an amount of red equal to the greatest power among creatures you control that enter the battlefield this turn, and has partner. I think I'm going to put this one at S, because 1, it's a red partner that you can actually play in a mono red deck, because you can partner it up with another red partner. And that ability is really cool. You can play like that 1 mana 12/12 that eats itself, and other big things that I can't think of at the moment. There's fun stuff you can do. I'm going to put this one at S. Anax Hardened in the Forge. His power is equal to your devotion to red. I kind of don't think devotion decks are good in Commander, because there aren't enough devotion cards, especially if you're in one color. When he or another non-token creature you control dies, you make a 1/1 Satyr. This does not seem very good. This seems like an okay support card if you're playing big things, but if you're playing this guy by yourself, just play goblins. Like, why are you playing satyrs with a commander that's not even a satyr? I'll put him at C. Next up, we have Arnie Brokenbrow, and my computer image is not... What the heck? Okay, sorry about that. I remember when this guy came out. He came out in, like, Kaldheim spoilers, and people were like, whoa, what's this cool boast mechanic? And then literally no one ever talked about him ever again, because he is kind of absolute garbage. He has haste. You can pay 1 to change his power to 1 plus the greatest power among other creatures you control until end of turn. You can only do that once, which makes like the weird combo shenanigan potential go down a lot. And it's just bad. Like, this just isn't good. Honestly, if you're gonna play big power creatures, then just play, what's her name? Elena. This is so bad, I think I'm actually gonna put it in F, because I have no idea what you do with this. Like, sure, you could try and get in for big chunks of damage, but it's really bad. Ashling the Pilgrim. 2 mana for a 1/1. I like cheap commanders. You can pay 2 to put a counter on her. If it's the 3rd time this ability has resolved, remove all counters from Ashling, and it deals that much damage to each creature and each player. This is a weird card. What are you gonna do with this card? Red does not have that much +1/+1 counter synergy going on. So I don't know how you get this past 3 counters? But I guess if you buff Ashling, you can just do it a lot and kind of wipe the board a lot. Maybe you play creatures that do stuff when they take damage, or cards that do things when your opponent's creatures take damage. I'm going to put this at a B because I think it's interesting, but I don't think it has enough support or synergy to be good, but it has some, and it's pretty cool. Atsushi the Blazing Sky. I think this one is new and isn't even out yet. 4 mana for a 4/4 flying trample. When he dies, you can kind of draw 2 cards or you make 3 treasures. I don't like this card. I really don't like this card. I'm gonna put this card... It has treasure stuff, but are you gonna play this as your commander for a treasure deck? You're not gonna play... No, you're not gonna do that. I'm gonna put this in F. It's like a good card if you're playing like standard or something, but why would you make this your commander? It's just like so generically kind of good stuff that it doesn't take you in any direction. It just maybe draws you 2 cards or makes some mana. Like, that is not what you want a commander to do. Balthor the Stout. 3 mana, all barbarians get +1/+1. Pay 1 red, target barbarian gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Now, normally I would put this at maybe a C or a B, because I feel like that's about where bad tribal commanders belong, and barbarians seem like a bad tribe. But I'm 99% sure that I remember a mono red commander that is actually just better if you're playing barbarians. So that kind of makes this one obsolete, so I'm going to put it at F. Alright, Ben 10 Aki Hermit. This is the weirdest look. He's got like an octopus on his head? And he's drawing robot faces in a wall? What is happening? What the heck is happening with this art? Okay. You can tap him to deal damage to target attacking creature equal to the number of untapped mountains you control. Untapped mountains? Oh, if it wasn't untapped mountains, I was actually kind of on board. If it was just mountains, maybe a B. Untapped mountains, that's really bad. I'll put him at C, because he can still kind of do some things. You could do like Stuffy Doll things. Yeah. Could Stuffy Doll attack? I don't think it has Defender, does it? Assuming Stuffy Doll can attack, you could attack with your Stuffy Doll before you play anything, and then ping it for a bunch with your Ben, and that's something. So he gets a C. Next up we got Burgie. Burgie makes you a red mana whenever you play a card, and the backside lets you basically discard a card to kind of draw 2 cards. And it also can let you boast twice. Oh my gosh, the Arnie Broken Brow synergies are out of this world. It is kind of amazing how the front side of Burgie has 2 abilities, and one of them is so good and the other one is so bad that I think most people don't even remember that the other one exists. Like, this card can't even boast itself. Like, if this card had a boast ability, then at least it would kind of do something, but that is quite a shame. Kaldheim was kind of a miss. This commander is very good. Is very, very good. But is it cool enough to be S? Yeah, it's really cool. It lets you do Mono Red Storm, which is fun, and not that good. And the fact that it's not that good actually makes it funner. So I'll put you in this. Bosch Iron Golem. This is our first red commander that's not actually red. He's colorless, but he has a red ability. 8 mana for a 6/7 trample. Pay 4, sacrifice an artifact. He deals damage equal to the sacrifice artifact's mana value to any target. This guy seems hilarious. He costs 8 though, that is so much. I want to put him at A, but the fact that he costs 8 is kind of turning me off a little bit. But it's all colorless, so you could just like shove in your Thran Dynamos and your Worn Power Stones and all the other stuff like that. You could put Tron in your deck. You could actually play your Tron lands and play them on turn 4. That convinced me. Okay, he's an A. Braylen Skyshark Rider. This guy, you have to pair with a blue-white shark, I think? I mean, you don't have to, but why would you play this by yourself? F. Breaches Brazen Plunder. Menace, whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage. Exile top of basically lets you draw cards from other people's decks if you're playing pirates. I don't think there are enough mono-red pirates to make a good mono-red pirate deck. So even though you can partner this up with other red things, I'm not really liking it. I guess he does trigger off of himself, and he has Menace. I'll put him at C, because you could build a red deck with like a pirate sub-theme, where he just kind of helps you steal some things, but that seems kind of bad. I just don't think there are enough pirates. I don't actually know because I didn't check, but I feel like there aren't enough pirates. Brothers Yamazaki. This guy only works if you have 2 of him, so F.
Don't leave me here alone. Don't go where I can't follow.
Captain Lannery Storm, 3 mana. When she attacks, you make a treasure. When you sack a treasure, she gets an attack. This just seems like Burgie, but way worse. There has to be a better mono-red treasure commander, right? There has to be one. There has to be one. You know what? I'm going F. This is pretty bad. It makes you 1 mana a turn, and you have to attack with your 2/2. That is not good. Captain Ripley Vance. Whenever you cast your 3rd spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on him, then it deals damage equal to its power to any target. I actually really like this one. I know it's not good, because playing 3 spells is difficult to do, but this commander makes me very happy. Also, it has play 3 spells as a theme, and also make him really big as like a sub-theme. Is that a he or her? I don't even know. Anyway, so it's got 2 themes that are kind of interesting. I'm gonna put it at A. No, it's not that good. You know what? I'm gonna put it at A. I like him. I know he's not like as good as an A tier commander should be, but I just really like this one, so I'm putting him at A. Next up is Chandler. Why is this card just a dude? Like just a random dude. Magic used to be weird. It still is weird, but it used to be weird in a weird way. He lets you pay 3 red and tap to destroy target artifact. Oh, artifact creature. I thought it said destroy target artifact. Nope, it's artifact creature. That is. Okay. And some of you are going to be like, oh, Micah Synthlatus. No. You're wrong and you know it. Chandra, Fire of Kaladesh. This is the flip Chandra Planeswalker. Whenever you cast a red spell, you untap her. You can pay her to deal 1 damage. If she deals 3 damage, you can flip her over. I don't actually know what the backside does, so let me go check. Backside just deals some damage. That is just very generic, deals some damage to some stuff. Now, normally, I would probably put this one real low, because it's not that good. But this is the best commander if you're playing Chandra Tribal, which is a cool deck, because there are a bunch of Chandras. And I actually want to build a Chandra Tribal deck because it sounds very funny. And I saw someone play that deck before, and it was so cool that I'm putting this at S. Doretti Scrap Savant. People used to like this one, and then they stopped. I don't know why. One of the only red Planeswalker commanders that gives it some uniqueness. It has good artifact synergies. I think it's still good. I feel like people just kind of went out of mono red artifacts and started doing like Grixis artifacts and stuff. But if you're gonna play mono red artifacts, Doretti is one of the better options. Like just the -2 lets you sack an artifact to return a big thing. That by itself is pretty good. You play this for 4 and you cheat the biggest artifact out of your graveyard. That seems good enough. I'm gonna put it at A because being a planeswalker does bring it down a little bit. If it was just a creature that had that ability on it, that would be better. But Doretti's pretty cool. I like Doretti. Dargo the Shipwrecker. This one is immediately going S for a couple reasons. One, it has 7 attack. And whenever a commander has at least 7 attack, I think that's funny because it opens up like commander damage potential. So that gives it immediate bonus. Second of all, it has a lot of combo potential because it reduces its cost whenever you sacrifice things. But if you sacrifice him, then the next time you play him, that sacrifice... Blah, 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 blah. If you sacrifice him, then the next time you play him, he will be 2 cheaper, so he can like cancel out his own commander tax. And so if you set it up right, you basically just have a commander that always costs 1. And that can do some stuff. You get a Perforos, you play him over and over. Wait, that's actually really good. Oh dang, this commander's really good. And his partner? This guy's super good. Holy cow. He's like maybe double S. I'm not going to put a double S, but if there was a double S tier, this guy would probably go double S. Delina Wild Mage. I like the fact that if you are lucky enough, this commander just makes you win the game. That is very funny. But there is a big downside, which is that if you're gonna play the dice rolling deck, you should just play the blue-red dice rolling commander. Because, first of all, that lets you play a bunch more dice rolling cards, because there's a lot of blue ones, and second of all, it's just better. So I'm going to put this one at C, because while it is really good, I don't know why anyone would build this deck with this commander instead of the Izzet one. Like, just build the Izzet deck and put this card in it. But as a commander, you don't want this one. Diao-chan Artful Beauty. What is the art on this card? It's just a random Asian woman that's like really realistically drawn compared to every other Magic card? What is happening? Okay. 4 mana 1/1. Tap, destroy target creature of your choice, then destroy target creature of an opponent's choice. What? This card's amazing. This card is absolutely amazing. How does this exist? This is going S. This is so funny. You just like immediately buddy with someone at the start of the game, and you just get to destroy 2 creatures a turn. This is mono red control. I don't know how mono red control wins, but this is your commander. That's fantastic. Dong Zhao the Tyrant. When Dong Zhao the Tyrant enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls deals damage equal to its power to that player. Okay. So if you're going to play this commander, your goal is to make one of your opponents make a giant creature. Is there any way to force your opponent to make a giant creature? I don't think so. But you can donate a giant creature because you're in red, and red has some donate effect things. I want to like this one. I want to like him, but the fact that he's your commander makes him so much worse. He's like a gotcha card, you know? He's a card that's way better if people don't see him coming, and they're going to see him coming if he's your commander because he's in the command zone. So I'm going to put him in a C. Not quite an F, because there are some funny things you can do, but I feel like all of his tricks are way better if he's not your commander. So we're going to put him at C. Drakuseth Maw of Flames. 7 mana, flying. When it attacks, deal 4 damage to anything and 3 damage to other things. I like this guy a lot. He's real honest, you know? Like all these other people are trying to do their combos and crazy stuff. Like, I'm just going to play a dragon, and he's going to deal some damage to some stuff. He doesn't have haste. I thought he had haste. Okay, that makes him a little bit worse. He's not cool enough to be S, but I'm going to put him at an eh. 7 mana is a lot. I'm going to put him at an A. I'm like pleasantly charmed by how Timmy he is. He's kind of like the red Galta, and I like Galta. Aaron the Relentless. 5 mana 5/2 haste, pay 3, regenerate. Garbage. You can go hang out with Chandler because you're also just like a random dude. Atali Primal Storm. Atali's really fun. I want to put him in S, but I'm going to put him in A because I think he's just a little bit too good. I don't like playing commanders that everyone knows are super good. I like playing commanders that people think are garbage and then winning with them. And Atali is obviously very good, but he is fun, so I'll keep him in A. Felden of the Third Path. 3 mana 2/3. You can pay 3 to make a token that's a copy of a creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact, and it gains haste, and you just have to sacrifice it. Okay. So this is like mono red reanimator that also turns it into artifacts. That's kind of cool, but why are you playing red reanimator when you could play black reanimator? Does red have anything that's so cool to reanimate? I guess you could reanimate like a Drakuseth. I'm gonna put him at A. He can do some fun stuff, but I don't get why you're playing red reanimator. That just seems like you're just trying to be too much of a hipster. I don't know. I know. Okay, I just insulted all the Felden players, and they're totally going to destroy me in the comments. But this is my tier list, so it stands. Fumiko the Lowblood. 4 mana 3/2 has Bushido X. What does that even mean? Whenever this creature blocks or becomes blocked, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Whenever this creature blocks or becomes blocked, it gets +X/+X. No. Creatures your opponents control attack each combat if able. This card's garbage. If you're playing this, you're only playing it to make all the creatures attack every combat. But why are you doing that? That's dumb. Creatures are supposed to attack because you're forcing your opponents to get value out of their creatures by attacking. So is F too low? No, it's not. This card's bad. It's from Kamigawa, right? That just means it's bad. Okay. Gadrak the Crown Scourge. Flying, he can't attack unless you control 4 more artifacts. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that for each non-token creature. Okay, this is the good treasure commander. Alright. I'm going to put him at A because treasure isn't super interesting, but he is very good at it. And he's a big boy. I like him. Godo Bandit Warlord. This guy just kind of tutors for an equipment. And that's it. He puts it on the board, which is cool. So you get to get the biggest equipment from your deck straight out onto the board. He also does samurai stuff, but that doesn't matter unless you're doing like that weird combo with the thing, the copy thingy. There'll be a picture of it on the screen right now because I'm dumb and I can't remember what it's called. I am tempted to put this one at S, but he's actually very good. I've played with Godo before, and you can kind of just combo on accident and win the game. So I think that brings him down a little bit. Actually, maybe I'll go B. I'm going to put him at B, which sounds insane, but here's my reasoning, right? If you're playing Godo, you're either going to not have a great deck, where you just kind of have random equipment, or you're going to accidentally win. It is very hard to make a Godo deck that's like right in between, because all the equipment you can get are either bad because they're equipment, or they make you win. So it's hard to make a good, balanced, fun to play against Godo deck. I'm not saying that it's impossible. If you have a Godo deck, don't get mad, but it is difficult. So he goes a B. Grenzo Havoc Raiser. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, choose one, goad target creature, or exile the top card of that player's library until end of turn and you can cast that card, but you have to actually play mana. This is just Ragavan, but worse, right? Oh, it triggers for all creatures. Okay. That makes it better. I don't know, though. If you're playing this guy, you're probably making a bunch of goblins. And if you're making a bunch of goblin tokens, then why are you not playing a goblin commander? You know? Like, just play a goblin commander. I do like the fact that he does funny things. Playing cards from other people's decks is always fun. So I'll put him at B. But he doesn't quite get to go in A because just play Krenko, I don't know, play a Goblin Commander. Hazaret the Fervent. This one only does stuff if your hand is empty. That makes it very bad, because if your hand is empty, you're gonna lose. Heartless Hidetsugu. This seems like S tier, but it doesn't quite have the Godo problem, but it has the same problem of he either doesn't do anything, or he makes you win. Right? Like, if Heartless Hidetsugu activates, you're probably gonna win, because you have some sort of damage doubler thing, or you gave him lifelink or something, I don't know, right? Or you gave him infect. So for that reason, I'm gonna put him down at B. I still like him, and I think he's a funny meme, but if you made a Heartless Hidetsugu deck, I think you would get bored of it a little quickly compared to other decks, because if he does his thing, he does his thing, and it's the same every time, you know? Hivis of the Scale. You may choose not to untap him during your untap phase. Tap him to gain control of target dragon. Why? I want to like him. Is there a red card that makes your opponent's creatures into dragons? I don't think so. I mean, there are ways to do it. If you like harmless offering a Maskwood Nexus. But there's not any way to do it that's easy enough to warrant playing this. And this also, okay, I like this card. I actually like this card. I think it's funny. But this runs into the Dong problem, right? I'm calling it the Dong problem now. It's a gotcha card, so if it's your commander, you're not going to get anybody. If you have this and someone else has like the Dragon as their commander, they're just not going to play it, you know? So you're not going to get a dragon. Homura Human Ascendant, 6 mana, 4/4. He can't block. And when you put him in a graveyard, you flip him over. Then he becomes an enchantment. All your creatures get +2/+2, have flying and fire breathing. Wait, hold up. That's pretty good. Okay, so if you're playing this guy, you're going to have some sack outlets. You're going to have like some lands or whatever that let you sack him. So that's not going to be an issue, probably. And once he dies, all your guys get +2/+2 and flying and fire breathing. How good is that? That's pretty good. Giving everything +2/+2 and flying is going to let you kill people pretty quick, but he is 6. I like him, though. I like that you can actually kill people with him, and he's some jank Kamigawa commander that no one's ever seen before. I really like these dumb flip ones with the terrible formatting. They just have, like, a special place in my heart for some reason, just because they're formatted so badly. So I'll put him at B. Maybe that's a little biased, but I like him. Ib Half-Heart Goblin Tactician. Whenever another goblin you control becomes blocked, sacrifice it. If you do, it deals 4 damage to each creature blocking it. Sacrifice 2 mountains, put 2 1/1s onto the board. I'm going to put this guy at F. Not because he's the worst commander I've ever seen, but because if you put all the goblin commanders on a list, he's probably like number 7 or 8 because there are so many goblin commanders, and he is not a good one. Izuka the Ruthless. This man is very intense looking. Like, he's got this death glare going on. And his hand is like burned or something? What is going on here? Okay. Sacrifice a samurai, F. Next. Ilharg the Razeboar. Whenever Ilharg the Razeboar attacks, you can put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, return that creature to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. When he dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. Ilharg's pretty cool. I know there's a lot of combos you can do, but I just don't like him that much. I don't mind if other people play him, but personally, I don't get super excited by an Ilharg, 1. And secondly, and I know maybe, I don't know if I should be thinking about budget when I make this list, but one thing I notice when I've been building decks is whenever you build a deck that's like, oh, I'm going to cheat in the biggest creatures ever, you put your deck together and you're like, why is this so expensive? Oh, it's because I put all of the best, biggest creatures in my deck list. I don't want to spend this much money on a deck. So for those reasons, but he's still good. I can't justify putting him in B. I'm going to put him in A. Don't say I never did anything for you, board fans. Inferno of the Star Mounts. This is the one where if you get him to 20 power, he just starts killing people. I'm going to put this one at S. I really like this commander because he does this, he incentivizes you to find a way to get him to 20, and then get him back down to 19, and then get him to 20 again. Which is just the weirdest goal to have, and it lets you play some really dumb cards that you just shouldn't be playing, but they let you pull off the wombo combo. Also, I kind of love commanders that say can't be countered, because it just feels bad when you play your commander and it gets countered, especially if it costs like 6. And the fact that he's a 6-mana 6/6 with flying and haste means he can already just get in there for good commander damage potential, and I kind of give a bonus point to any commander that actually has a chance of winning through commander damage, because I think that's hilarious. Ishi Aki Crackshot. 2-mana 1/1 Goblin. Whenever an opponent plays a spirit, no. Just no. Stop. Kamigawa, stop. Stop doing this. What? No. No.
Yes, I
Nope.
am.
Wrong. I'm in charge.
Is
Me.
Major
Ben charge.
Jaya Ballard Task Mage. 3 mana for a 2/2. Pay red, discard a card, destroy target blue permanent. Oh, okay. Pay 2, discard a card, deals 3 damage to any target. Can't be regenerated, doesn't matter. Pay 7, discard a card, deals 6 damage to each creature and each player. I think this card is hilarious. It is a little feels batty, because if you play against like a mono blue deck, it just kind of feels personal, but I also kind of like stomping on blue because blue is my least favorite color. It's not super good though, and it just deals damage at the end of the day. You could play color changing stuff. I guess this gives you an excuse to run that Scarecrow, Painter Servant, which is fun. So I'll put her at an A, but she's not, I'll put her at a B, she's not that good. Jessica Thrice Reborn, 3 mana. Oh, this is the partner one, right. Ooh, deals big boy damage, triples your damage.
Oh, baby!
Wait, if you play this with the pirate guy, you can triple his 7 to 21 commander damage and kill people. I'm just kidding, she's not S. She's not that good, but she does do cool stuff. Wait, she works super well with this pirate guy, because you can play the pirate guy like 50 times, and then she's going to come in with like 50. That is so good. Hold up. That seems insane. Do I put her in S just for that? I'm going to put her in A, because that combo is more built around the fact that Dargo is insane than it is around Jessica. Like, Jessica plus Dargo is amazing, but it's mostly because Dargo's amazing and because Jessica's just kind of there. So she goes at A. New Jessica. Ooh, I guess old Jessica. Second Jessica. 4 mana 3/1, first strike haste, tap to deal 1. It's just a pinger. It is just a pinger. Is there any reason for that to be good? Is there any reason? Just give me a reason. Just a little bit's enough. Just a second. We're not broken, just bent. I bet you didn't think I was gonna sing this far. Why would I put it in anything above F? You can give it Death Touch. Does that matter? No. Is there another pinger? Okay, I'm gonna put it in C for now, but if I find another pinger that's better, I'm gonna move Jessica down to F. Jiwari, the Earth of Flame. I have never seen this card. It is like a pile of eyeball worms? This card is gross. I actually hate this art. It's very gross. Okay. Tap, deal X damage to target creature without flying. Okay. That's a little bit better than with flying. Or you can discard it to deal a bunch of damage. Okay, well you can't discard it because it's going to be your commander. Oh wait, this is so bad. Why are all of the Kamigawa commanders so bad? Why are they all such garbage? Joven, what is this man? Who is this man? This guy's got some strange energy going out. Destroy target non-creature artifact. Wait, this is just this is just Chandler, but the other one, because it's also just a dude who like destroys things. This one's better because it destroys artifacts that aren't creatures, which is probably better than only being able to destroy artifact creatures. So I'll put him one tier above Chandler just for that, but it's not good. Kamal Pit Fighter. 6 mana haste, 6/1, tap, deal 3 damage to anything. This is a better... Is it a better pinger? He costs 6, but he does 3. He has haste. This card's very bad. Okay, I'm going to put this one in C. I'm moving Jessica down to F because I'm going to say Kamal is the better pinger. Karizev. Karizev kinda is garbage. She just makes a monkey. Like, she just makes a monkey. You can do ETB stuff, but if you're gonna do ETB stuff, just play Norin. I know Norin's coming in a second. No. And she has to attack to... No. No. F. F? Yeah, F. Actually, F. Kazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs. Whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks, if you're the defending player, make a 3/3 red ogre unless that creature's controller pays 3. That was a lot of text. Let me read that again silently so I can actually understand what that sentence means. Whenever creature an opponent controls attack, if you're the defending player, so if someone attacks you, you make a 3/3 unless they pay 3. Okay, this is just Ghostly Prison, but weird. Got it. I don't really like this one. This commander does absolutely nothing unless people attack you. And so they're not going to attack you until it's actually good to attack you. So he doesn't really do anything, right? Like if you're playing against a token deck, they're just going to wait until they have enough tokens that are big that they can just kill you, and then you're going to die. Unless you can somehow use the tokens you get to kill them before they actually hit you, which I guess you could do with like a Perforos or something. You can kind of turtle up. Okay, I'm kind of talking myself into it, but he's not going any higher than B. Kedis Emberclaw Familiar. 2 mana, 1/1 partner. Makes your... Oh, okay. He makes your other commander deal damage to everyone if he hits one person. Okay. This guy's kind of weird. And if you're playing him in mono red, once again, you're only playing him with Dargo, because Dargo is just the best. He is pretty good. But is he better than Jessica? No, Jessica's better. Jessica can do more interesting stuff. And also just is better. So we're going to put him at a B. I kind of like him though. I really like cheap partners. They're just kind of cool. Korvath Bright Flame. This one has a white partner. Don't play it by itself. Kikijiki Mirror Breaker. Man, I like Kikijiki. Kikijiki was like the first overpowered card I ever got. And I didn't even understand how good he was when I got him. So he has like a lot of... What's the word? Rose-colored glasses value. There's like a lot of nostalgia value for this guy. So I'm going to try and ignore that. Well, I guess it's my list, so I don't have to ignore it. Okay, I'm just not going to ignore it. So... A. Okay, but like in all seriousness, he's really good. I'm not putting him in S because he's a little bit too good and he runs into the same problem of he kind of does nothing or he wins. But Kikijiki, you can actually get more just value from him than people think. Like, yeah, you pair him up with Zealous Conscripts, you just win. But if you're playing mono red, I'm going to regret saying this because this might actually be a very dumb sentence to say because I don't actually know if it's true. But if you're playing mono red, I don't think there are that many single creatures you can pair up with him that just immediately make you win. I don't think there are that many other than Zealous Conscripts. There might be like a couple more. But that means your other stuff is actually going to be good value, which I like, so I'm going to put him in A. Krark the Thumbless is, I think, my favorite partner ever made. He is so funny. Oh, but in mono red though, in mono red it does get a little bit worse. Because you really want to pair this guy up with a blue partner so you can kind of do funny Izzet Storm Spellslinger stuff. In mono red he's not as good, but there is cool stuff you can do. My favorite thing about Krark is you can play cards where you actually want to lose the coin flip. Like if you play a Storm card and you lose the coin flip, you still got all the Storm copies, but the original goes back to your hand so you can just like play it again. Or you can like, I think Replicate works if Replicate does what I think it does. I'm going to put a big sentence on the screen that tells you whether or not Replicate actually works with this commander. There you go. Okay, I'm going to put him at A because in mono red I don't know if there's enough you can do, but I love this guy. Krenko Mob Boss. This guy I think is instant A material. He is the best Goblin commander, I think. I didn't check, but I think. But he is not that interesting. He just makes a giant pile of 1/1s. But he is the best Goblin commander, so he's got to go pretty high. Krenko number 2, I forgot this guy existed. What does he do? When he attacks, put a counter on him, then make goblins equal to his power. This is just other Krenko, but much worse. Like a lot worse. Like a lot worse. Like 2 tiers lower worse. Kumano Master Yamabushi. Ooh, I wonder what set this is from. Ooh. Pay 2, deals 1 damage. Wait a second. Wait a second. This one isn't garbage. It's a pinger that can ping more than once. And if the thing he pings dies, it gets exiled instead of going to the graveyard. Hold up, this is a better pinger. I can't put him in B though, right? I think what we're going to do is we're going to put this pinger up here and we're going to move Kamal down because I don't think Kamal's actually good. So all the other pingers go down here. Kumano is officially the best pinger. He goes in C. Kurkesh Onaki Ancient. When you activate an ability of an artifact, if it isn't a mana ability, you can pay red, and if you do, copy it. This guy has some complicated combos. I've played against a Kurkesh deck, and when I lost, I did not understand what was happening, but it was cool, and there were a lot of game actions being taken. And one of my personal philosophies in Magic is that if you take the most game actions, then even if you don't win, you got to play the most Magic. So in a sense, you kind of won, you know? You got to play the most game. So I'm going to put this guy pretty high. He's really cool. Also, just look at that chonky big boy belly he's just rocking there. Like, no anxiety or inhibition about it all, just letting it all out. You gotta give him some points for that. Layla Lalia? Is that Layla or Lalia? I don't even know. The Blade Reforged. Whenever you exile cards, she gets bigger. When you attack, you exile a card and you can play it. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I would put her at S if she exiled cards from other people's decks, because that's funner. Since she just exiles a card from your deck, even though that's better, it's not as fun. But she is very good, so we're going to put Layla at A. Lathless the Dragon Queen. Whenever you play another dragon, whenever another non-token dragon ETBs, you make a 5/5 red dragon. That seems very good. Is this the best mono red dragon? Probably. But is mono red dragons good? Like, people don't play mono red dragons. People just play like 5-color dragons when they play dragons. So we're gonna knock her down to B, because why are you playing mono red dragons when you could play all the dragons? There's so many dragons out there. This card's got some weird art. What is that hat? That is the fanciest and also dumbest hat I've ever seen. Latula Keld an Overseer, 5 mana for a 3/3. Discard 2 cards. Holy cow, this is bad. So she's like a fireball pinger, but you have to discard 2 cards and tap her. That is so bad. That makes me want to move the other pingers up. That's how bad that is. I'm not going to, because the other pingers are also terrible, but that is so bad. Laureen the Diversion. This one, not only is this one you have to pair up with a commander that's a different color, it's also just not good. It is just not a good one, and I'm pretty sure the partner also isn't good, so get out of my face. Lavisa Cold Eyes. This is the one that's better than the other Barbarian one. So where did I stick the other Barbarian? Oh, I put him in F. Okay. So, she gives... Oh! She gives every Barbarian, Warrior, or Berserker +2/+2 in haste. So that also applies to your opponents, which is kind of funny, and actually makes me like her more, as weird as it is. Those tribes are kind of janky though. And she does have the multi-tribe problem, which is if you build a tribal deck that has multiple tribes in it, that kind of makes things worse. Because things that say pick a tribe, you only get to pick one tribe, and then it only works with like half of your creatures. So I'm gonna put her at C. There's no way that she's as good as like this mono red dragon. But I do like Lavisa. It's a regretful C. I wish it was, it's like a C+++++. Lubu, Master at Arms. This card doesn't do anything. Get out of my face. Machao, Western Warrior. This card also doesn't just... Hold up. So he has Horsemanship, which basically means he can't be blocked. And his other ability just says if you attack by himself, he can't be blocked. But he already can't be blocked because he has Horsemanship. I am like personally offended by how dumb this card is. This card just says, I have unblockable 99% of the time, but for the other 1%, you can still give me unblockable if you try really hard. That's so dumb. Magda, Brazen Outlaw. Magda is straight... Magda has to be S. Magda's so good. You get Dwarf Tribal, you get Treasures, you get Dragon Tribal, you get Big Artifact. That's like 4 different kind of niche archetypes that all come together. This is a better Dragon Commander than this other Dragon Commander. Because it lets you play that for like... I guess it kind of costs 5 because you have to sack 5 treasures. But it's kind of free if you think about it. Magda's so good. Magda's the best thing to come out of Kaldheim. Magda's the only good thing to come out of Kaldheim. I said it. Manichi the Fever Dream. I know it says the Fever Dream, but the Fever Dream is much better. Switch each creature's... What? 3 mana for a 1/2. Pay 1 in a red, switch each creature's power and toughness until end of turn. I want to like this card so badly. That is so funny. I have no idea what you do with this card. Like, there's no way this card is good, right? Like, this card has to just be bad. I cannot think of a single thing that you would do with this card. I want it to be good so badly. Like, do you just like attack with a 1? So step 1, you make a 1/20 with Death Touch. Then you attack, and then your opponent has to block it, because if they don't, you're gonna switch and do 20 damage, but they're just gonna block it anyway with something dumb. I don't know how you make this good. I'm gonna put it in C, just because I hope that there's something cool you can do with it, because I want to like this card so badly. And also because I kind of don't want F tier to just be every Kamigawa commander. But I don't know what you do with this card. Also, the fact that it costs 2, if it cost 1, that would be so much better, because you could realistically switch multiple times and do some shenanigans. But I just don't think this card's gonna make it. Maraxis of Keld. This man is so buff. It's actually a little bit gross. He's got... Those veins are kind of not okay. Those veins are like snakes. They're like blue snakes on his arms. Okay, what does he do? He has power and toughness each equal to the total number of untapped artifacts, creatures, and lands you control. Is that big? That's kind of big. Okay, so you can attack. You can play all your stuff post-combat. So you can leave all your lands untapped when you attack. So you can make them really big on your turn. And then you just need a bunch of garbage. You just need so much garbage that you can just throw out onto the board, just like random food tokens and memnites and dumb stuff. And then you smack them with the big muscly boy. That's like worth a B. I kind of like that. Martin Stromgald, 4 mana, 1/1. When he attacks, other attacking creatures get +1/+1 for each attacking creature other than him. When he blocks, your blocking creatures get +1/+1 for each blocking creature other than him. So he makes big groups of stuff really big when they do things. Okay. That's kind of cool. Where do we put him? So you're going to play this guy if you want to play a token deck that isn't goblins, because if you're playing goblins, just play Krenko. So this guy's only good if you're playing non-goblin tokens, but there are some non-goblin tokens that are pretty good. Maybe you can make some little baby dragon tokens and swing in for a bunch. And he's old and weird. He's got like this funny looking horse and like just a weird painting of trees and a lake in the background. That's pretty cool. And he has a bunch of text on him, which I also like. Okay. But he's not as good as Krenko, right? Okay, we'll put him in B. We'll put him with Muscly Dude. They kind of feel like the same... Good. Actually, no, he's better than Muscly Dude, but it's close enough. Morag, Fury of Akum. This is the one where when you play lands, he gets extra combat phases. That is very powerful. That is super duper powerful. But I don't really like I don't really like him that much. I don't know. Like playing a mono red landfall deck just feels weird. I'm gonna put this guy surprisingly low. People are gonna not agree with my decision on this one, and I know that. I'm like preemptively understanding that I'm going to put him in objectively the wrong spot, but I'm putting him at C. Because, hear me out. Hear me out. Extra combat steps are cool, but the landfall thing, unless you're just gonna do like, oh, I'm gonna play every fetch land that can get red, then you're probably only gonna get one. How else are you getting a bunch of lands in red? And even if you do find a way to get more lands in red, like why are you warping your whole deck around just triggering landfall on only your commander? I don't know. I don't really like him that much. I'm probably so wrong on this, and I know he's good. It's not even that he's not good, because I know he's good. I just don't really like him. I don't know. Muxus Goblin Grandee. This is the Hearthstone Goblin Boy. Blah blah blah. When he enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 and play every goblin that costs 5 or less. Doesn't like every goblin cost 5 or less? I can't think of a goblin that costs 6. Okay, I guess he costs 6.
Oh, that's not so much. So?
But I cannot think of another goblin that costs 6 mana. Is this a better You know what? You know what? Do we move Krenko down? Is Muxus better than Krenko? I guess they're just different. Krenko wants like 1/1 goblin tokens, and Muxus wants like actual chonky non-token goblins. I think they're about the same. I'll put them at the same spot. Myojin of Infinite Rage. This card does nothing. It's a 10 mana, 7/4, that doesn't do anything unless you put it back into your hand and then you play it, or you find some super dumb way to put a divinity counter on it. There probably is a way. You know what? Here's a picture of a card that can put a divinity counter on it, but you're not going to do that because it's dumb. And even if you do, all you get to do is blow up all the lands. Why are you doing that? People are going to hate you. This is the problem. You're going to play this commander and people are going to be like, wow, that commander's garbage. And even if it does its thing makes us not want to play with you. So no. Neheb Dreadhorde Champion. 4 mana, 5/4 trample. When he hits someone, you can discard cards and then draw cards and get some mana. That's pretty good, but it feels very generic. I don't know. It doesn't feel like you can build around him that much. And you do have to hit people. He does have trample, but you do have to hit people. I think he's like B in terms of power level, but as far as how much I like him, I think that brings him down because he's just kind of generic. I don't know. Neheb the Eternal. This guy is insane. This card is too good. I have played with this card before. I don't have a commander deck with him, but I have a deck with him in it, and he's just too good. So I'm gonna put him at A, because I like him, and he does flashy stuff, but he's just too good. I remember, I have a Perforos deck with Neheb in it, because I figured it'd just be good, and I think I won that game on turn 3. I did start with a Mana Crypt, because that's my only deck with a Mana Crypt in it. But, like, he just won me the game on turn 3, because he got me, like, 30 mana. And then I just kind of won. He's just too good. Norn the Wary, immediate S. This is my favorite mono red commander. He's a meme. He's funny. And he's actually kind of good. You can do a surprising amount of stuff with him that's actually good. Like you play Norn and Perforos, and suddenly everyone is dying pretty quickly. You play Norn and that weird Myr making circle thingy. Here's a picture of it. And like you're making a bunch of Myr. I really like Norn. Okun, Eye of Chaos. He has a blue partner. F. Next. Pashalik Mons. This is just goblins, but not as good. He does ping. Man, these other pingers. Okay, let's just take a second. Right? Let's just take a second to fully appreciate how bad these other pingers are. Because they are so bad. This guy just pings randomly when goblins die, and you're gonna have goblins dying. And this guy's not even good. Like, I'm putting this guy at C, because he's not even that good. Just play the other goblins. But, like, these other pingers are so bad. Patron of the Aki. Goblin Offering. When it attacks... Oh, this card was so close to being good. It has Goblin Offering. It was so close. It was so close to being good. If it had an ability that did anything relevant, I would actually put this at least a B or an A. But I think I'm putting it at F. The fact that all it does is pump your dudes and it has Goblin Offering means the only thing you can do is play a Goblin deck. Or just play a token deck, but if you're playing a token deck, it's probably a Goblin deck. So just play any of the other Goblin commanders. Pia and Kirin Nalar. I don't like this as a commander. Paying 3 and sacrificing an artifact just to ping is not very good. This card, it's not like a terrible card. If you're playing like Perforos or something, just throw it in. It's pretty good. But it is not a good commander to the point where I don't think you're ever gonna play this as your commander. I personally challenge you to think of the last time you saw a Pia and Kirin Nalar commander deck. It hasn't happened. You've never seen one. You have literally never seen one. And if you have, you're lying. You are a liar. Alrighty, Pia Nalar is just Pia and Kirin, but worse, because there's only one of them. Perforos Bronze Blooded. This guy's pretty good. He's got Indestructible, which is already good. He's got the God Claws, so he's going to be real hard to kill. He gives your creatures haste, and he lets you kind of sneak attack, right? Oh, hold up a sec. He lets you sneak attack, but only red creatures or artifact creatures. I actually like that. I really like the way this guy's ability is worded, because it just takes all the Eldrazi out of the equation, because you can't... They're not artifact creatures or red creatures, so you can't put Eldrazi in. And I know that makes the card worse, but that makes me like him more, because Eldrazi are kind of boring. You know, they're just like the default options. You see them way too much, but with this guy you have to actually think. Like, sure, you can still do Blightsteel, but other than that, you gotta like what's the next option? I don't even know. Maybe that big artifact guy that breaks into 3/3/3s when it dies. Maybe you play Bearer of the Heavens and then everyone hates you. Like, I don't know, you gotta actually kind of think about the next options. So we're gonna put this guy pretty high. I think he's at least A. He's not S for me, because I'm not a huge fan of this kind of deck. And it still might be a little bit expensive if you want to get your Blightsteels and whatnot, but he's pretty high. I like him. Alright, now we got OG Perforos. I think this one's also a pretty easy A. This is like my go-to deck when I want to turn my brain off. Like, I feel like it's good to have a Perforos deck because you can take it out if you want to play one more game but you don't want it to be long. I know it kind of depends on how you build your Perforos deck, but my Perforos deck deals a bunch of damage to me along with everybody else. So it just kind of guarantees that the game is not going to be too long. And that's kind of nice sometimes. Because especially if it's like after you've played a couple games and maybe you have to go home soon, it's kind of nice to have a deck where you know that if you play it, you're going to get to go home within like 30 to 40 minutes, you know? The game isn't going to be 3 hours. Ragavan Nimble Pilferer. I am gonna put this... I want to put him S. And the only reason I'm considering not putting him S is because he's very expensive. But I'm still gonna put him S. I like this guy so much. I'm not actually sure how good Ragavan is in Commander. I think in general he's not actually that good, but if he is your Commander, you get to play him on turn 1 every game. And that just seems... It seems pretty strong, but not take over the game strong. You're gonna get some extra mana. You're probably not gonna be actually drawing cards at the start because you're not gonna have enough mana, probably, to play the cards you get. If you get really lucky and you hit like a Rampant Growth, that's just amazing. Like, you just get some extra mana, you maybe get an extra card or two, and then you gotta actually play Magic. Raka Mar. This commander only makes 1 token every turn, and you have to pay mana. That is very bad. Rionia Fire Dancer, 5 mana 3/4. At the beginning of combat, make X tokens that are a copy of another target creature, where X is 1 plus the number of instant and sorcery spells you've cast. Okay. So this is like Kiki Jiki, but also Spellslinger, and also less combo potential. That's pretty good. I think we stick this in the same tier as Kiki Jiki. It's not as good. I think it's not as good, but it's funner. So those kind of balance out, and it goes in the same tier. Rograk, son of Roga. You know, I know I said Norin was my favorite. Rograk might actually be my favorite. I love this commander so much, just because it costs 0. I don't even care that it has abilities. If this commander was just a 0 mana 0/1 that did nothing and had partner, I would still put it in S. That's how much I love this commander. Like, first of all, the fact that he costs 0 opens up some combo potential, right? There are some combos that just only work if you have a 0 mana commander. Second of all, you get to attack on turn 1 every time. And also, you get to do, like, there's just so many dumb things you can do. You can do the Crack the Earth thing that I made a video about a long time ago. You play Rograk on turn 1, you play a land, you play Crack the Earth, everyone has to sacrifice a permanent, you just sacrifice your Rograk because you don't care, he costs 0, and everyone else sacrifices a land. That's amazing. You could also, like, if you have Skull Clamp in your deck, you could just Rograk, turn 1, play a Skull Clamp, turn 2, just Skull Clamp him to draw 2 cards. That's so funny. He's so useless, but actually the most useful thing ever. He just ensures that you have access to garbage. And having access to garbage is just so good. It's so good, but it's also not that good, which makes it even better. I don't even know. I'm not even making any sense. I love this commander. I think he's fantastic. In fact, okay, I know this is supposed to be a mono red list, so this technically shouldn't be influencing my opinion. But one of my favorite ideas for a deck is just Rograk with any blue commander, and you just play him to polymorph him. Like, your deck is just a polymorph deck, and Rograk is just there, so you have something to polymorph that's free. The idea of having a commander whose only purpose is to just exist and then die, who has 3 abilities that you're not even using, is just the funniest thing I've ever seen. Next up, Rorix Bladewing. This card is almost vanilla. Nope. Alright, Rowan Kenrith. This one you also should be playing with the blue partner, but Rowan is actually kind of good, so I'll put her at C. I can like reasonably see someone playing Rowan by herself as like a mono red Super Friends deck, and it wouldn't be terrible. Like, yes, you should just pair her up with Will every time. There's absolutely no reason to play Rowan by herself, but if you did, for some reason, if for some strange reason you just wanted to be that guy, your deck would be okay. Ryusei the Falling Star, when he dies, he deals 5 damage to each creature without flying. That's just not good. It's too reactive. You don't even know if that's going to be helpful. Like, you might just be playing against a bunch of creatureless decks. It could happen. I don't see why you would play this. Shimatsu the Blood-Cloaked. This art is insane. This guy looks straight out of Jujutsu Kaisen or something. What is even happening? He's like shooting a laser out of his hand, and he's got a bunch of mouths. And that very twisty, gnarly tongue. Okay, let's see what he does. 4 mana 0/0. Oh, Kamigawa. Oh, why? 0/0. Oh, Kamigawa.
Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now.
You know, I think this is the most appropriate use of the phrase. I'm not mad, I'm just actually disappointed. Like, why is Kamigawa so bad? Why is it so bad? Even the new Kamigawa commander, I don't even know where it is. Even the new one's an F tier. Even the Kamigawa commander from the new set is an F tier. Kamigawa is such garbage. Okay, so what does he do? When he comes into play, sacrifice any number of permanents. He comes into play. Oh, why? No. Just play buff guy. With buff guy, you just have to have untapped garbage. With Shimatsu, you gotta make a bunch of garbage and then get rid of all the garbage. This is like Wood Elemental. I mean, it's better than Wood Elemental because Wood Elemental is literal human feces, but like, it's close to Wood Elemental. And if you're even like living in the same state, if you have the same zip code as Wood Elemental, then you're terrible. You're just so bad. Alright, Skyfire Kirin. I'm not even reading it. You know what? This is not a joke. I'm not even reading this card. And I'm just putting in F tier because I saw it was from Kamigawa. I'm not going to read it. This is not... I have no idea what it does. It's an F tier. Slowbad Goblin Tinker. 2 mana, sacrifice an artifact. Target artifact gains indestructible until end of turn. That is strange. I don't think this card's that good. At least not as a commander. You would maybe play it in an artifact deck. I could see that. But if you've got Doretti and other stuff, you're not going to play this as your commander. I'll put him in C. He is an artifact sacrifice outlet, which is kind of interesting. I do kind of like that, but I'm not really seeing it. Squee Goblin Nabob. I like Squee a lot, to the point where I want to put him in like A tier, but the problem with Squee is that he's just way better in your deck than as your commander. Because you want to get Squee into your graveyard and then put him back into your hand and then play like any number of those red spells that let you discard some cards to draw some cards. I can't even remember what they're called because I'm trying to think of it, but all I can think of is Magic Aids calling the card the Power of Lesbians, which is really dumb. You should watch Magic Aids, by the way. I like his videos. What is that card called? Is it Tormenting Voice? Something like that. Whatever. I'll put a picture of it on the screen. Anyways, so I love Squee, but he's not a commander. He's just not made to be your commander. So I'm putting him at C. I'm sorry, Squee. I like you. There's still some stuff you can do with him as your commander, but no, just put him in your deck. Just put him in your deck, right? Second Squee is actually a little more interesting. Because with second Squee, there are some combos you can do. They're not good, per se. But if you make Squee the Immortal really cheap and you find a way to sacrifice him for mana or something, then you can kind of just keep playing him over and over and over. And then maybe you got like a Perforos or something, I don't know. It kind of starts coming together, right? Like, you can do an infinite combo with this Squee. Like I said, it's not going to be a good one. It's probably going to be very bad and involve like 5 cards, but you can do it. So any commander that can go infinite should be at least like a B, right? Stark of Wrath, 3 mana, tap, destroy target artifact or creature. That permanent's controller gains control of Stark of Wrath. Ooh. Ooh. This is like Chandler, but way better, but also worse. Oh, wait, you have to give it... Okay. If you could give it to any opponent, then I would really like it. Because you could kind of just make a pact with someone and start switching your Stark back and forth to control the other two players. But since you have to give it to the player who you took something from, my thought process here is maybe play a deck with no artifacts or creatures, but then you're never going to get them back. Dang. I want to like this card. I guess you could like Expedition Map with Homeward Path. That's something. I don't hate him. An Expedition Map with Homeward Path does get you kind of close to maybe being consistent. But he's not better than these C's, is he? No. He's not a B, he's a C. Subira Tulzidi Caravaner, that is a name. There is an elephant in the background of this card. I have seen this card before. I have never seen the elephant with the camels. Okay, I already like this card. Let's see what it does. Alright, so she makes your stuff unblockable if it's small. And you can discard your hand to make it... Hold up. Okay, you can discard your hand. I read over that too quickly. That is so bad. Until end of turn, whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Ooh. I feel like this card is really, really bad. This card is probably really, really bad. You have to discard your hand. You have to discard your whole hand. This commander makes you lose the game if someone else has a fog. That is too bad. I guess if you're already empty-handed, then it's not terrible. But if you're already empty-handed, then why are you empty-handed? Like, that's already bad. This is really bad. I'm gonna put her at a C because she does do things. She does things that you can build around, but it's not good. Circara the Bold. Whenever she or an instant or sorcery you control deals damage to a player, you kind of draw a card, and you can tap her to ping. Oh, she can ping. She can ping. Look how much better this pinger is. She's a pinger that also does things. Not only does she do other things, but the other thing she does triggers off of her ping. That is so good. All the other pingers should actually just be ashamed of themselves. And you know what? She's like an okay burn commander. I don't know if she's the best one. Neheb is probably better. But she's not like strictly worse, you know? She's just like a different flavor of burn. I'll put her at B. She's pretty... I'll put her at B. She's pretty good. Tongarth Talroom Hero. He has Vigilance, but for some reason they wrote it out. And for one in a red... Hold up. Is this guy like the only red creature with Vigilance? Am I crazy? I'm gonna check that. And here is a sentence saying whether or not I'm crazy. Ta-da. Okay, Tongarth deals damage equal to its power to target creature. That creature deals damage... Okay, so he fights. He fights things. He's only a 4/4. Why are you fighting when you're a 4/4? I want to put it at a C because it does things, but the thing he does is so bad that I think he's actually just an F. Rorix Bladewing. This one doesn't do anything unless you discard another Rorix. He just doesn't work. And yes, it's probably technically possible to do this. Right? Like, there is probably a way in mono red to actually activate this grandeur ability. But whatever it is so bad that I don't care. Tor Flanking. When he attacks all attacking creatures with flanking. Oh my, flanking tribal. I did not think we would see the day where flanking tribal was gonna make a comeback. I can't even think of another card with flanking though. There is no, like, there aren't any good flank. Okay, I want to like this. I'm gonna preface this by saying I really, really want to like this card because flanking tribal is the funniest thing I've heard in a long time. But it's so bad. You have to fill your deck with garbage creatures, and once you do, your bonus is +1/+1. No. The Prismatic Piper technically has the option of being a mono red commander. Tago Goblin Weaponsmith. Tago's real fun. I like Tago a lot. I want to put him in S, Am I being too nice to the partners? I already have 3 partners in S. But Tago's fun. He does landfall, and equipment, and artifact, and ping. He does like 4 things, and he's a partner. Okay. I'm gonna put Tago up here, but I think I am being a little too nice to the partners. So I'm gonna move Elena down. I'm sorry, Elena. You are still really cool, but you're not as cool as these other partners. And we can't have the whole S tier being partners. Also, I kind of feel like you actually just belong in A, and I was too nice at the start. Torolf, God of Fury. 4 mana 5/4 trample. Whenever a creature or planeswalker an opponent controls is dealt excess non-combat damage, Torolf deals damage equal to the excess to any target other than that permanent. Okay, so whenever you trample, but not because you hit something, he deals that extra damage to something else. And I'm assuming that he can trigger off of himself, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, I remember. People were saying, like, play damage doublers. He deals the excess, but if the excess is doubled, then you can kind of just wombo combo kill people. That's actually really cool. Okay, let's see what the other side does. The other side... Okay, the other side is very bad, so we're just going to ignore the fact that the other side existed. The fact that it's there almost makes me want to put him lower. That's how bad the other side is. The front side's really cool. I like this guy a lot. He's like Blasphemous Act tribal, right? Hold up. If he's on the board and you play Blasphemous Act and he dies, he still triggers, right? I'm gonna assume he does. If he does, I think this guy might also be S. He's the best commander for an archetype that also doesn't even really exist. So he's the only commander for it, but he's also just really good. I like this guy a lot. Torbran, Thane of Redfell. I like Torbran too. I almost like him as much as Toralf, but Torbran is less... He's got less of a theme going, you know? Like, his theme is just damage. I guess his theme is kind of small increments of damage, because he makes 1 damage into 3 damage, which is better than making 5 damage into 7 damage. But that's not that big of a theme, right? Like, dealing damage is just a thing. Whereas this other guy is about, like, dealing excess damage that's not in combat with, like, a big Blasphemous Act and then maybe doubling it. Whereas this guy is just, like, ping things a lot, right? And that's not as much of a theme. Tuk Tuk the Explorer. 3 mana 1/1 haste. When it dies, you make a 5/5. So, okay. My initial instinct is instant F. But 3 mana for a 1/1 haste and a 5/5 is actually still bad. I don't know why I thought that was good. Like, in like limited, that's amazing. But why would you play this? Okay, so let's just kind of ignore the 1/1, because the 1/1, if anything, is a hindrance because it stops you from getting to the 5/5. The 5/5 is legendary. I don't think that matters, so I'm gonna ignore that. Like, you wouldn't play a 3 mana 5/5. You wouldn't do it. There's no reason to play this. Urabrask the Hidden, the poor little predator who is so much worse than all of his big brothers and sisters, including Triangle Head Lady and Creepy Blue Man. This guy's too boring. I don't know. He gives all your guys haste. Hold up. There's at least one other commander on here that gives all your guys haste, right? Am I crazy? I think there was. Maybe I'm thinking of the Perforos that gives it haste when you put it in. I don't know. But that's not like a theme. Like, that's not good enough to be your commander. I'm sorry. Valduk, Keeper of the Flame. At the beginning of combat, he makes 3/1s that have haste that go away, equal to the number of aura and equipment on him. I'm going to put this guy at B, because he's pretty unique, and I like what he does, but it's not very good. Because he's kind of Voltron-y, but Voltron-y in a way where he doesn't have any built-in protection. And the most important thing about a Voltron commander is having built-in protection. But he is unique, and I like him, so he gets at least a B. Farchild, Betrayer of Kjeldor. Yeah, that's right. I know it's Keldor, but I'm going to say Kjeldor. When she hits people, they make that many 1/1s. Okay, first of all, I'm liking that it says that many 1/1s and not just 3 1/1s. That makes it a lot cooler. Survivors your opponent's control can't block. and they can't attack you. When she goes away, you get all of the survivors. This card is so unique, but is it good? Like, does this do anything? Man, there are some things you can do, but I don't think they're that good. I'm thinking like Dagger Burn. You know, like that deck where you give your opponents 1/1s and then you punish them for having the 1/1s. But I don't think you can build a mono red Dagger Burn deck. I think you need black to do it. I know there are some red cards you can use that are okay for it. But if you're playing Dagger Burn, you really need black and probably also green. So if you're not doing that, then you're just kind of making 1/1s for other people. And I don't really get why you're doing that. Like, yeah, you can get them, but to get them, she has to die. Man, I want to like this so much. I think she deserves to be in C. I'm going to put her in B because I like her. Rorix Bladewing, 4 mana for a 4/4, 7 mana for 2 4/4s. Both of those are embarrassingly bad to be a commander. Yadara Wandering Monster, this guy doesn't do anything unless you cycle him. No. Yuan Shao the Indecisive. Ooh. 5 mana 2/3 Horsemanship. Each of your creatures can't be blocked by more than one creature each turn as long as he's in play. Okay. That doesn't do anything. That literally doesn't do anything. Get out of here. Zadahedron Grinder. I like Zada a lot. This might also be some bias because I had a friend who had a Zada deck and it was really funny. And it just stormed off and did crazy things, and also it made him kill himself sometimes because you had to lose a lot of life to do it. Zada's very unique. I'm undecided between S and A. He's very unique, but he does kind of do the same thing every time, but it is different because you're using different cards, but it's still kind of samey. I'm very undecided. I think Zada is a super funny and interesting deck to play the first 10 times you play it. After that, I feel like you might start to get a little bit bored of it. But he's cool. I'll give him S. I'll give it to him. Zalto, Fire Giant Duke. Whenever he's dealt damage, you venture into the dungeon. That's pretty cool. I don't remember what the dungeons do, but they're not that good, but some of them kind of do stuff if you get to the end, right? Deal damage to your own creature, tribal, stuffy doll, I don't know. Okay, so the weird thing is most creatures that want to take damage want to take a lot of damage, whereas this guy wants to take 1 damage a bunch of times. So I guess you play pingers. Pingers unite. I'm kind of convincing myself. Why does he only have 3 health though? That's really bad. If he had more health, like if he was a 3/7, I would consider A. I would actually consider it, but since he's a 7/3, I cannot justify going higher than B. Zerlin of the Claw. Pay 3, tap, search your library for a dragon card, put it onto the board. Is this guy a dragon? Hold up. I have an old version of the card, so it just says Summon Legend, and I don't actually know if he's a dragon. I'm gonna check if he's a dragon real quick, because that actually changes my opinion. Doop 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 doop. Doop 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 doop. Okay, so this guy's not a dragon, he's a Viashino Shaman, and I just realized that every time I saw this card, I thought the creature was the dragon. But instead, it's the little lizard man doing like a big bonsai star pose with a walking stick. I did not even notice that that thing was there until this exact moment. I really need to look at art more. Alright, so this guy lets you pay 3 to tutor a dragon from your deck and put it onto the board. And it has haste, and it only lasts for 1 turn. I actually really like this guy. He lets you do sundial things, I'm assuming. Hold up, I gotta check Oracle text for that too, because this card is just so old. Yeah, okay, you can do sundial stuff. That helps a little bit. You get to tutor out any red dragon. Man, if he was more than 1 color, I would have put him real high. But mono red dragons is a little limiting. I think red is the main dragon color, but there are so many dragons in every color that you're just gonna be missing out, you know? I don't think I'm gonna put this higher than the other red dragon commander. He is funner though, he's so much more interesting. What's the coolest dragon you can get? Like World Gorger dragon? I guess you can get the 20 dragon. I can't justify it though. Like mono red drag, just play a dragon deck with more colors, right? Yeah, just play a dragon deck with more colors. Just do it. If you want to play dragons, play 5-color dragons. I don't care if you have like the most budget, terrible mana base of all time. Just play 5-color dragons. You get all your boys. Zozu the Punisher deals 2 damage to anyone when they play a land. No, I don't care. Zergo Bellstriker, 1 mana 2/2. Holy cow, this is Ragavan with a downside. This is Ragavan, only instead of making treasures and kind of drawing cards, it has a downside. No. Okay, so I'm gonna preface this by saying I don't think this card is actually that terrible if you want to play a really low to the ground Voltron style deck. But just play the monkey. The monkey is so much better in every way. I guess it only has 1 toughness, but they both have the same dash ability, and the monkey has an upside instead of a downside. So don't play Zergo. Just don't. You're never gonna do it. And finally, Zerzoth Chaos Rider. This guy is just Devil Tribal, just straight Devil Tribal. His abilities aren't actually that interesting, but he's Devil Tribal, and I like that. There are some cool devils. But Devil isn't a great tribe, and like I said, I don't think that good tribal commanders for mediocre tribes can really go above B unless they're super good. So we'll just slot them in a B and call it good. Alrighty, so there you have it, folks. Every single mono red commander objectively sorted by how cool they are and how much you should build a deck around them. And you know what? I'll make one slight adjustment here. Doop doop doop. Doop 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 doop. Prismatic Piper is so bad that he kind of just deserves his own tier. So, boop, there he goes. Alright, thanks for watching the video, guys. I am going to be doing this for all of the colors. We're going to do blue, we're going to do white, we're going to do black. We're going to do every single combination of colors eventually. I'm looking forward to the 4-color ones because they're only going to be like 1 commander each, and that's going to be funny. But that's it for now. So if you liked this tier list video, if you want to see more, then like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, give me money. I don't know. Just do the things, you know? Just do the things. But yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Tofu out.